Knicks, Celtics, round 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We're going to break it down on today's show. We have an in-depth series preview to talk about, my prediction, and the keys to victory for the New York Knicks. But if you want to see this team get to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000, go down right now, hit that thumbs up icon, and let's go. Welcome into Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm still struggling to grab and grasp what happened last night as the New York Knicks defeated the Detroit Pistons in Game 6 as they punched their tickets to a heavyweight fight against the Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions. The New York Knicks are major underdogs. They also lost all 4 matchups against the Celtics. We're going to tell you how they can win, and we're going to try to find out if they can. This season, or this series, will start on Monday. At the moment, no times of the games have been revealed. But they will play Monday, they will play Wednesday, then they will travel back to New York and play Saturday and Monday. And then if Game 5, 6, and 7 are necessary, it'll be Wednesday, May 14th, Friday, May 16th, and Monday, May 19th. The Knicks head into this series as major underdogs. No one is giving them a chance to win. The New York Knicks are minus 550 to win the series. And last time I looked, the Boston Celtics were plus 800, or minus 800 to win the series. Plus 550 for the Knicks, minus 800 for the New York Knicks, with the most likely outcome, according to Vegas, is the Celtics to win this series in 5 games, as they are giving that a plus 205 odds. And rightfully so, the Boston Celtics should be heavy favorites. They dominated the Knicks in the regular season. 3 of the games were absolute blowouts. The other one, the Knicks choked a little bit, and Jayson Tatum hit the shot that everyone remembers, and the Celtics ended up winning that game in overtime. The Celtics outscored the Knicks by 17 points per 100 possessions throughout those 4 games. It really hasn't been much of a contest. And let's try to recap all of those games here. The first one of the season, the one that I want to forget about, and the one that started this season off on a really bad foot. The Celtics win 132-109, and this was never really a game. The New York Knicks got blitzed right from Jump Street, and they were never able to recover. We'll show you the box score from both teams, but I really don't think there's a lot to digest from this one. Because, as you see, Brunson and Hart played 24 minutes with Towns playing 23 minutes. They came out slow. They got blitzed. They were not ready. They looked undermatched, and they were overpowered. What I did like was Deuce McBride was able to shoot 4 of 5 from downtown, but most of those coming in garbage time. And the Celtics were able to do whatever they wanted. And Jayson Tatum did what he wanted, which he really did all year long against the Knicks, averaging like 36 points against us this year. So game 1 of the season and game 1 of this season series, not much to take away from, except they're still the champs, and they came out and they beat you bad, just like they did when you matched up against them 4 months later on the 8th of February, where they won 131-104. Same song, different day, same dance. The New York Knicks got blown out from Jump Street again. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns plays 27 minutes. The game was over after the first quarter. They lost that first quarter like they did every single game against the Celtics all but one time, 30-19. They lost the first quarter in the first game of the season series, 43-24. Again, I really don't think there's much to take away from the box score. Like, Brunson had 36. He shot well. He shot 3 of 7 from downtown. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. And Jayson Tatum was once again the best player in the game. 40 points for him. The New York Knicks have really struggled to stop him. I guess you could say what stands out is the Boston Celtics were able to shoot 48% from downtown in that ballgame. And in the first game of the series, the Boston Celtics were able to shoot 47% from downtown. So through 2 games, they shot 47.5% and 48.5%. And then the third game of the season series. A little bit closer, but I think in reality, the score does not really paint the picture of what happened in that game. Keno, OG Anunoby did not play. Or he did play in this ball game. It was the next one he did not play in. You lose 118 to 105, though, and it really wasn't a game in this one again. And like you see the box score, the Knicks numbers look relatively okay. Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points. Josh Hart, 20. Jalen Brunson, 22. But at the end of the day, you got blown out, and you allowed the Boston Celtics again to light it up from three. This time only shooting 38%, but still, they were really good. And that's how they want to play basketball. They want to get up a lot of threes. They shot 44 threes in this ballgame. And look, if the Celtics are able to knock down the three ball at the rate that they have been against the New York Knicks, you're really not going to have that much of an opportunity to beat them. The perimeter defense is going to be key in this one. And then you had a really good game against the Boston Celtics. But once again, it ended in a loss, 119 to 117 in overtime. The Knicks saw themselves up in that game. They came out hot, and they punched the Boston Celtics in the mouth. But then they kind of collapsed the rest of the way. Look, it just is what it is at this point. They dominated you every single game, but a lot of positives to take away in this one. Karl-Anthony Towns was really good in this ball game. 34 points, 14 rebounds, and it started to feel like he was able to figure out a way to get to his spots and be effective and be efficient and be someone the Knicks could at least rely upon against the Boston Celtics. He played good, but nobody else really played all that well except for Jalen Brunson. And you shot 28% from three. You're going to have a hard time beating Boston if you shoot 28% from three while they shoot 38% from three. Also, Jaylen Brown didn't really even play in this game. 21 minutes, didn't play in overtime, didn't really play all that much in the second half. But it was a game that you saw yourself up, and you saw some things starting to click against the Boston Celtics. And that's what you want. You want to have a little bit of confidence. You want to be able to say that we can hang with these guys. And I think that game gave this team some answers to how they could be successful against them. The question now becomes, will they be able to do it in a playoff series? We're going to be live for every game of the playoffs for this series. So go down right now and hit that big red subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Every single game, hour-long pregame shows. We're going to have post-game shows as well. We are your number one place to be. Over 120,000 people tuned in for Game 6 against the Detroit Pistons. I better see you Game 1 on Monday. And producer Smitty, he's now the host of Boston Celtics Today. It's personal. I'm not talking to him for a week, or at least this series is over. And I want to beat him in the subscriber battle. So if you love the Knicks, you hate the Celtics, and you're not subscribed, change it. Hit that big red sub button. All right, let's go through my keys to victory if the Knicks want to get to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. The pick and pop defense. And overall, the perimeter defense for the New York Knicks needs to be far better than what it was against the Boston Celtics this year. I saw 10 times Kristaps Porzingis off the pick and pop. Karl-Anthony Towns playing drop coverage. KP catches the ball above the arc, and he knocked in three after three after three. Porzingis averaged more points against the Knicks than he did 27 other teams in the NBA this year, averaging 24.5 points per game, shooting 50% from the field, 45.5% from downtown. And he shot 22 threes in 2 games. That has been the Achilles heel for the Knicks for a long, long time with Tom Thibodeau, is a big man that could shoot. They cannot play drop coverage against Boston. If they do, they are going to get shot out of the gym. You're going to let pull-up three after pull-up three after pull-up three after driving off a screen, kicking out to a wide-open player. The Boston Celtics want to shoot threes, Tom Thibodeau. The Boston Celtics, mainly Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Derek White, they want to shoot threes off the bounce. They want to come off a screen and let it go. You have to have Cat, Mitch, whoever is the big man that gets put into the action, has to be hedging and blitzing and not letting them walk into an easy three. Look, if they're going to be taking a lot of twos and Porzingis is working out back to the basket, sure. But you can't allow him to just catch and fire over and over and over again with a clean look. Karl-Anthony Towns' defense will be tested in this series. Karl-Anthony Towns, the man, will be tested in this series. He didn't show up in Game 6 outside of one play that I thought really changed the game on the inbound, where he was able to tap the ball into the backcourt, track it down, made one free throw, missed the second, but ended up getting that offensive rebound. And I thought that kind of put some life and started to really just move the gears of this team in the right direction. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be put in the action. Jalen Brunson is going to be put in the action. They are going to matchup punch you. Cat, you have an opportunity to rewrite the narrative about who you are in the playoffs. And there's no bigger stage than Madison Square Garden against the Boston Celtics. And Tibbs has to get creative on defense. We got to find a way to make it tough for Boston because they haven't made it tough. The Celtics have 130 offensive rating against the New York Knicks this year. That means they're scoring 130 points per 100 possessions. That would be the best in NBA history. Tom Thibodeau, you're supposed to be a defensive guru. You're supposed to be a defensive wizard. Let's see it. Figure it out. You can't let Mazzulo ball crack your code every single time. The Celtics shot 43.5% from downtown against the Knicks this year. If the Celtics shoot 40% or better against the Knicks, this series will be over very, very quickly. Make it tough. They want to shoot 73s a game. At least make them contested. And the rebound battle is huge. They are the champs. So I will say, I think the Boston Celtics are a better team than the New York Knicks. If you think that makes me not a Knicks fan, then you know what? I don't really care what you got to say. My eyes is to analyze and tell you the truth. I do think the Celtics are better, but I also think the Knicks can win this series. And the rebounding battle is probably the most important thing. They're a better three-point shooting team. They're a more fluid offense. They score the ball at a higher rate and more efficiently. If you lose the rebound battle, you will also lose this series. Just like you lost all 4 games in the regular season against the Boston Celtics, where the Celtics grabbed 52% of the rebounds in the season series. They beat you in the rebound battle. How is that possible? How are you going to beat the Celtics if you get outshot from 3 and you lose the rebound battle? That cannot happen. I will say the Boston Celtics haven't really seen the Knicks at full health. And I think we might be seeing a lot more of the number 23 in white and blue playing for the Knicks this series. I think this might be a Mitchell Robinson series. He gives you some of that grit. He gives you some of that juice and that play style to go and beat Boston. You're going to have to dominate them on the offensive glass. You're going to have to hold them to one possession because their offensive rebounds, it turns into open threes every single time. And if you let that happen, you'll be putting your toes in the sand in Cancun by next week. Mitchell Robinson, I'm looking at you to be an impact player. All I ask is catch the basketball, and let's stop putting him in a bad position to catch the basketball. He's struggling with it right now. Don't make it hard on him. Do what you do, Mitch. Protect the rim and control the glass and break their spirit. If the Knicks are going to beat the Boston Celtics, they're going to have to beat them up. They're going to have to muck it up. They're going to have to turn it into a street fight. They're going to have to dominate them on the glass. The Knicks need to make this series a rock fight. Because if it's about pace, three-point shooting, you're going to lose. And if you pair that with losing the rebound battle like you did in the regular season, it's going to be over very quickly. And starting fast is huge. 3 games in the season series against the Boston Celtics. The New York Knicks were blown out of the water in the first quarter. They literally could not compete. The game was over before it even started. I can't forget what happened in the first game of the season when you lost the first quarter 43-24. And the next game, you lost 30-19. And the next game, you lost 38-19. You won the last game 30-27 in the first quarter, and that's how you have to play. You got to come out fast with energy, just like you did in Game 6. But don't fold like you did in the second quarter. And don't fold like you did in the first 8 minutes of the fourth quarter either. You got to come out fast. You got to come out strong. Because these leads against Boston, that's almost impossible to come back from. Got to find a way to find a way. And this is probably the most boring key of all time, but this is why you made the moves that you did. The Knicks starters have to play like the best 5 players on the court. You went out and made moves for OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns to beat the Boston Celtics. If the Knicks are going to beat the Celtics, it's because Jalen Brunson played an A-plus series, Mikal Bridges played an A-plus series, OG Anunoby played an A-plus series, Josh Hart played an A-plus series, and Karl-Anthony Towns played an A-plus series. That's how you win this series. And your starters got dog-walked by the Boston Celtics in the regular season. The Knicks starters were minus 21 points per 100 possessions this year against Boston. You were outscored by 21 points. Your starting 5 that has played more minutes by far than any other starting 5 in the NBA. This is why you got Cat. This is why you went out and you traded for Mikal. This is why you gave OG Anunoby $200 million. You have 2 wings that are supposed to be able to guard Jayson Tatum and supposed to be able to guard Jaylen Brown. You traded for Karl-Anthony Towns to be able to open up the offense, to compete with their offense and play 5 out. We'll see if they could do it. Let's start with this. OG Bridges. OG and Mikal Bridges. We need you guys to show up. And Mikal Bridges, I need you to be 1,000 times better than what you were when guarding Jayson Tatum in the regular season. When Tatum was guarded by Bridges this year, about 83.7 possessions, he scored 35 points. He had 7 assists, 0 turnovers, shot 68.4% from the field, and 57.1% from downtown. I want to see OG on him. I said that in the first game of the season. I'm not saying OG is going to hold Jayson Tatum to 25% from the field and 25% from 3 and 15 points in 3 games, but he gives you a much better option. But Bridges, you're supposed to be a wing defender as well. If Bridges gets embarrassed by Tatum like this again, we'll be watching on our couches the conference finals yet again. And Karl-Anthony Towns, you were terrible against Boston in the season opener. You were terrible against Boston in the second game of the season. You were awesome against Boston in the third game of the season. You were incredible against Boston in the fourth game of the regular season. Did you find out how to win? Did you find out how to play? Did you find something? Because that's what we need. We need you scoring 20 and getting 15 boards and being efficient and knocking down your shots. We don't need 12 and 7 and 9 and 9. Come on, Cat. We need you. It's your opportunity. Go beat Boston. You weren't last year supposed to beat the Denver Nuggets. You know what it's like to be heavy underdogs against the reigning NBA champs. Go do it again and punch your tickets to the conference finals for the second year in a row, big fella. And Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, we need you guys not only, I know we're asking a lot of you, but that's how you win the NBA finals. Your best players have to be the best players. And Mikal Bridges, we need you better on defense. OG Anunoby, we need you better on offense. And Bridges, we need you better on offense. Bridges, in the 4 games against Boston this year, is averaging 13.8 points per game on just 42% for the field and 31% from 3. And he was a minus 26.6 per game. OG Anunoby, you averaged 9 points per game against Boston. You shot 13% from 3 and 29% from the field. We need the OG Anunoby that we saw in February and March. We need the guy that's confident, that's looking for a shot and making big shots and bullying the inferior defenders. OG Anunoby needs to have a big series, or you're not going to have a long series. And my last key is kind of just who should be on the floor. Deuce McBride versus Josh Hart. I love Deuce McBride. He did not look good in the first round of the playoffs. He didn't play good at all. He didn't look confident. He didn't look like he was ready to go. But Josh Hart hasn't played good against the Celtics this year. And the Celtics' way of going about playing defense against the Knicks is, we're going to make Josh Hart beat us. And if you play Josh Hart, we're going to use that against you. And we're going to put a center on him. and we're going to sag off, and we're going to dare them to shoot, and we're going to clog the paint, and we're going to load up, and we're going to have a lot of help defense and double team Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. The Celtics were guarding Josh Hart with Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford this year and allowing them to just play like a center field free safety type of defense. They dared him to shoot, and he didn't shoot well. 1 of 9 from 3 was Josh Hart versus the Boston Celtics this year. Not asking Josh Hart to shoot 50% from 3. Not asking Josh Hart to shoot 40% from 3. But if you can't make threes, it's going to play into Boston's hands and how they want to defend you. And if you can't make shots, you might have to sit down. And you might have to put in Deuce McBride. And Deuce, you have to hit shots, man. You have to. We need Indiana series Deuce back. We need Philly series Deuce back. Like, bring the magnet ball back, my man. Hopefully you were saving it for round 2 because you didn't use it in round 1. You may have to go 5 out if you want to compete with them on the offensive end. Deuce is high up on my X Factor list. Yes, the starting 5 needs to be great, but you need someone off the bench as well. They've got bench players. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Like, they've got players that could score. They've got finals players, and they'll have Horford as well coming off the bench. They have 3 rotational players that are very good. Deuce McBride, you got to be able to show up and contribute in some type of way. And Tom Thibodeau, I am begging you, don't be stubborn. I love Josh Hart, but if he's hurting you, you got to sit him down. If the Knicks want to win this series, they got to play their A-plus game. That it is that simple. If you tell me right now that Brunson, Bridges, Hart, OG, and Cat play their A-plus game, I think the Knicks are going to win. Because I do believe that in my heart of hearts. But they all have to play their best basketball. We haven't really seen that much this year. No better time than now. Oh, yeah. And one more bonus. One more bonus key to victory. Jalen effing Brunson. The baddest dude on the planet. The clutchest player in the league. JB, do what you do. I feel wrong asking more of Jalen Brunson. But we need you to be the best player in the series, my man. You versus Tatum. Bridges, you got to outplay Jaylen Brown a couple games. OG, you got to make life tough for Jayson Tatum. And let's just have games that are within 5 points in the last 5 minutes of the game. And let's watch Captain Clutch do what he does. Who do you got? Who do you got winning this series? Are the Knicks going to the conference finals for the first time in 20-plus years? Or are the Boston Celtics getting there? Again, type K for the Knicks, type C for the Celtics. I love this basketball team. I love the New York Knicks. Do I want to come up here and jump around and yell and tell you Knicks in 6? Hell yeah, I want to do that. But it's my job to be honest. It's my job to be transparent. And it's my job to be an analyst. In my eyes, that have watched this team now for over 88 games this year, I don't think the Knicks are going to win this series. I think it'll be tough. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I don't think what people are expecting is going to happen. But I do think the Celtics are going to win in 6. But I want to make it clear. The Knicks can win this series. There's a path. There is a way that they can beat Boston. They built this team to beat Boston. Just like the Timberwolves last year built their team to beat the Denver Nuggets. Nobody gave the Timberwolves a chance. Go be them. Go beat them. Play with pride. We're rooting for you. We believe in you. But I just think the Celtics are going to win. But I have belief that this team could do it. And I love how nobody's giving them a shot. Vegas, the analysts, ESPN. You go to Twitter, and it's just a joke, according to the Twitter people out there, what this series is going to be. Everyone I see has the Celtics winning in 4 or 5. We'll see who's right. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping the Knicks win this series. We'll be here doing it every single game. Subscribe and turn those notifications on. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Give me a follow. And let's go, Knicks!